Hi everyone, so my name is Emrul, Content Director of CFA Self-Paced Program at Princeton Review. So I'm a CFA, FRM, and also a PhD in finance, and I teach finance and economics courses in different universities around Vancouver. One of the questions that we frequently hear from candidates, especially the undergrad students, that when is the best time to write the CFA exam? This video I created to explain when you should exactly start preparing for the exam and why you should do that. So, when is the best time to write the CFA Level I exam? First of all, let's go over the prerequisites for CFA candidates. This has been pretty confusing topic for a lot of students because they have changed over the last 4 or 5 years. First of all, you must meet one of the following enrollment requirements. You need to complete your bachelor's degree or an equivalent program and have received a degree from a college or a university. So how come then a lot of undergraduate students write the CFA Level I exam? Because for Level I, you can still be a final or fourth year student of a bachelor program on the date of enrolling for Level I exam. Because the reason, let me explain you the reason behind it. So CFA is a graduate level credential. I'll explain this in a bit. So by the time you finish CFA Institute want to make sure you finish your undergrad first. So it's not a substitute of your undergraduate degree. You cannot apply for the charter without a fully passed transcript from a bachelor program. So that's why if you're enrolling to the Level I exam and at that moment you are in your final or fourth year, that's perfectly fine. But now the third one is pretty tricky. I'm going to put a star mark here. Some professional work experience counts. Now, what counts as professional experience? That's a different question. You can Google and read some blog around that. I don't want to suggest anything at this point. You can always call them and figure this out. But I'm just hoping some sort of a lower management position may also count, because it never said relevant work experience to CFA. It said professional work experiences. So let's read. Have a combination of 4 years or 48 months of full-time work experience. Now that's also confusing, especially this term. What if someone have been working for the last 4 years in a part-time capacity? Will it be counted as 2 years? And then 2 years of education. So let me give you an example. Let's say someone just finished second year going into their third year of undergrad, but at the same time, over the last 4 years, they have worked in some sort of a professional setting at a part-time capacity or maybe at a 75% capacity, may still be eligible to write the exam. But our recommendation is that do not write Level I exam until the end of third year. The reason is at that point, especially if you're majored in or background in finance, at that point you have done some courses on investments, portfolio management, and other finance area. So you have some sort of a background that makes the courses easy. At the same time, do we recommend you to wait longer? Like for example, should you pass CFA, get a job? Should you pass undergrad, get a job, and then write the exam? No. Why? I'll explain in a bit. So, says combination of 4 years of full-time work experience and college university education on the date of registering the Level I exam. So it looks like if someone have, let's say, 2 years of college or university education plus 2 years of professional work experience, or 2 years or 24 months worth of professional work experience, that should be counted. But look, the ultimate decision maker is always the CFA. It's better to call them and figure this out. This is one of the confusing area, and there's a lot of question floating online. You must have an international travel passport. That's the only document they look at when you go and write the exam, and that must be valid and recognized during the or on the day of the exam. You must be prepared to take the exam in English. CFA exam is not offered in any other languages, which is pretty straightforward requirement. You must meet the professional conduct admission criteria. For example, you have to sign just at the beginning of the exam and also while registering a statement to attest that you are in compliance with this requirement. You must live in a country in which CFA Institute operates. I don't think it's a big deal for most of the candidates, but check if the CFA Institute website to see if there are any sanction on your country. But I don't think it's a big deal for a lot of candidates. So when should you write the level 1 exam? As I said in the first slide, the best time to write the exam is your final or fourth year of bachelor program. Now, the reason I refrain saying fourth year, I'm talking now from British Columbia, Vancouver. So we do have colleges here where the whole undergrad program is 3 years. So then if someone is actually finish the second year, which can be equivalent to final year of another university. So it's kind of confusing. So what I would have liked to see from the institute, if they made also added one more criteria with number of credit hours. That would make more sense. Like, let's say 80 credits. You have to complete at least 80 credits before you write the level 1 exam. But why do we recommend you should write maybe at the end or at the beginning of fourth year? By writing the final or fourth year, you will have the head start as some of the level 1 content is already covered and taught in the undergraduate econ, stat, financial accounting, and finance courses, which should be fresh in your head. We are assuming you are a business major. Again, we said some of the content. A lot of the contents are not taught in undergraduate program in many universities, such as alternative investments, fixed income. They're not taught. Business ethics are taught in business majors, but CFA ethics or investment ethics are really different than other areas of ethics. Those are not taught. But at least some areas in economics, stat, accounting, corporate finance, equity are probably taught in around the third year in the undergraduate program. So those knowledge will be fresh in your mind. Since you're already in study mode, assuming you completed 3 years of university, it will be easier for you to be consistent in your CFA Level 1 studies. Because look, you'll be calling yourself a full-time student anyway, so why not squeeze in another 20 hours a week here and there by sacrificing some party or friends and family time, and then squeeze in that 20 hours and write the exam. But if you work full-time, a lot of my students or candidates are working full-time and they're having a very hard time, because if you work 8 to 9 hours a day, especially in some daunting positions such as maybe analyst position or maybe in a banking position, after the work, the brain doesn't work. It's really, really difficult to squeeze in that 20 to 25 hours a week. It's difficult for them if they have been out of a study mode for a few years. And writing in your final or the fourth year will also show your prospective employer before you graduate. It will show your prospective employer that you're serious about your investment career and are taking the necessary steps. I keep saying to many of my finance and econ students that I teach in universities that one way you can show your commitment towards the investment and the finance career by registering for level 1 exam. So always remember, your undergraduate degree should still be your first priority. Okay, because you cannot apply for the charter without a bachelor degree. So that's why they want you to be in your final year when you write the exam, so that by the time you finish all 3 levels of the exam, you finish your undergrad. I remember my charter application, I had to submit my transcript that shows that I've completed the degree. There's a very good reason behind it. I told you in my first slide that CFA is considered graduate level credential. Here, that's the proof. NARIC in UK, I forgot the whole name of this. I think it's National Academic Recognition Information Credential, something. I forgot. But this is the body that actually give different levels to different program all over the world in different universities. For example, they put CFA Level 3 and CFA Charter at level 7, which is equivalent to a graduate degree such as MBA. Level 5 is undergrad, level 9 is PhD. That's why having a bachelor is a requirement. Also, you might have to study for level 1 exam for 20 hours per week, as I just mentioned, during your school year. One of the things you need to consider that you will have other school exams and assignments. Squeezing that 20 hours can be difficult. But you know what? From my experience of teaching undergrads, they make it work. They make it work, which shows a huge commitment to the employers and the future employers. So plan carefully. One idea that I give to my students, take courses. Those complement the CFA curriculum during the term when you're scheduled to write the exam. Let me give an example. Let's say you're writing the exam in May. Just the term before that is probably from January to April. So, and during that time, you'll be preparing for the exam, right? So let's say you are a finance major. Why not take courses, take final year courses or third year courses such as corporate finance, investments, portfolio management, derivatives around the same time when you're preparing for the exam, because those courses will be complementary to CFA curriculum. But if you take courses like strategic management, organizational behavior, marketing, or MIS, anything else, when you're preparing for the CFA exam, that will be difficult. And it's pretty psychological reason I'm telling you from my 8 years of teaching level 1 candidates. Okay, with discipline, consistency, and willpower, I think you should still be fine. So our recommendation is very, very simple, that write the CFA level 1 exam when you finished your third year. Maybe you're around the end of third year, you're just starting your fourth year of the degree for different reasons, such as you have done some finance courses, you have a little bit of background, and or even if you haven't done some finance, you have done some econ and stat courses, and because you're already in a study mode. So in conclusion, the best time to write the exam is probably around the end of third year or fourth year. There are several reasons around this, because you are already going to be in study mode, and if you're majoring in finance, you have done some higher level finance courses that prepares you for some of the topics of the CFA Institute. With all that, I want to end the video, and good luck with your preparation.